podcast. I am your host Simpiwe Mneno. Uyazi ukuthi umahamba ngedwa angudlali, and I'm also going to encourage you to follow us on our social media platforms. We are at New Dimension Gospel, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make us trend. Trendy is yo is a trender. I'm joined by Miss Pasi, Mrs. Flip. Jeez. Nopasika, Mrs. Nopasika. I forgot your surname, pardon me there, but do welcome, feel welcome here at New Dimension Gospel, and also thank you for affording us your time.
Thank you, Babu Neno.
It was really
Thanks for having me.
Yes, ma'am. So, to a person who is watching this podcast at home and maybe wondering, what is so special about Nopasika that she can get the opportunity to be interviewed? If you were to tell a person about yourself, what would you say in that particular person?
Okay, Nopasika. I love the part that says what is special about me.
Oh yes, yeah.
Okay, Nopasika or Pasi Malgas. I am a child of God.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm a mother.
Yes.
Of 3 beautiful children.
Yeah.
I'm a wife,
yeah.
and there's a lot that I do, but I don't like to describe me as. So in a nutshell, I'm a servant. I like using the word servant because
yes,
what I do, which is special, is to serve. So I serve in different ways. I serve in ministering the word of God.
Sure.
I serve in writing. I serve in speaking life to people, which what people call us inspirational speakers.
Yes.
And I serve mobile as Marty. I serve in different ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we will get to, by bit of those things that you are serving the community and the whole body of Christ with, and also being a mother of 3 and having so many caps that you are wearing, that we will talk about later. But I just want to find out from, a person who is a wife and plays the wife, the duties of being a wife, and then having to be a bit of someone who is a public figure. How do you handle that life? Because ngifuna ukunderstand umuntu ongekashadi othi mina ngibizwe kabi, umyeni wami must understand nje ngibiziwe. So how do you balance that life of being called and at the same time being a submissive wife?
Balance it's not always easy.
Okay.
However, what I like doing is to be mindful of what needs to be done at a certain time, which means being in alignment with what needs to be done.
Sure.
Because you may plan as a person to say, today I'm going to do 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
However, things may turn completely different from what you plan.
Yes.
So I believe in being relevant at the time. So
sure.
If there is a need for me to fill a certain role at a certain time, then I weigh what takes priority. Sure. Because we cannot all do all those things at the same time.
Yes, yes.
So we have to check what takes priority. Sure. And without trying to be spiritual about things, I love to be led, sure. By the Lord to say, no matter we get saved and we pray and then say, Lord, guide our steps. Yes. So I like to be attentive. Today, what is it that the Lord wants me to do? Sure. And focus on that. Sure. So obviously, mama, I cannot take ama-tens ukuthi ngizoba umama today leyo ihlezi ukhona, and also being a wife ihlezi ukhona, but sure. Other things I have to check ukuthi where am I being directed to, what takes priority, and I focus on that. Sure.
So ngifuna ukukhuluma futhi because of the experience that you have of being a mother and of being a parent, being a mother, and then now angithi kukhona, okay, we'll talk about that some other time, because abantu who know how to play with words. So yeah, motivational speakers and inspirational speakers are known to be people that can play with words. But I want to ask you, Uti, as umuntu who is a parent at home, and now you are a mother to your kids, and at the same time you are a public figure. So there's a thing that happens, Uti, as a person who is a public figure. Some people expect you to not be a parent to those kids, and they expect you to be a spiritual leader in a way, or should I say, a Malgas. Yeah. So Baba Nalendo, no, I mean, her kids cannot be found in certain places. Her kids cannot be in certain mistakes because she is the woman of God. So how do you make it easier to be a parent to your kids and at the same time holding the flag yokuthi ngiyakholwa? Because I know ukuthi, I mean, I was saying ukuthi, I mean, umuntu uthi uza nalento ukuthi hayi umntana wami kama mfundisi or umntana wencikazi, umntana wami mama uShumayela, but khona labantu abangenandaba naleyo protocol and who just do as they please. So how do you play a role of saying to my kids, I'm a mother or I'm a parent, then to the outside world, I might be a public figure? I don't know how to put this question that will you understand it the way I mean it. Yes. So how do you balance it? Okay, but for the beginning, you can talk to me with anything. Don't feel uti no judge or whatnot. So how do you balance that?
Yeah.
Being a present mother.
It didn't come easy.
Yeah.
It didn't come easy because, as a parent, we learn on the job. You know, we don't know it all.
Yes.
So what I try to do is I teach my children what I need to teach them.
Sure.
I teach them about general life. I teach them about God. And at the same time, I try to be their, not umngani as such, but to be open, which they can talk to me about whatever that they need to talk to me about.
Sure.
But another thing that I focus on doing is to say they are individuals.
Sure.
They have lives to live which God has planned for them.
Sure.
And I try from my side to teach them certain things or to try and guide them in a certain way. However, they have their own path to walk, and that path is going to include mistakes, is going to include izinto that maybe I may not know about or even expect.
Yes.
But my role as a parent is to pray for my children.
Sure.
Is to teach them, to pray for them, and be there for them.
Yes.
So that when they experience certain things on the way, they are able to come back and say, this is what I'm experiencing, and then I can then advise here and there. And at first, my oldest daughter used to say I shouldn't be a coach to her or a psychologist, because we also get tempted when you advise a child, you're thinking you are with a client here.
Oh yes.
And you try and say things that you would say to a client. But then, as I said, we learn on the way where we are wrong, and then we then learn to be a parent when you need to be a parent, and to be a friend where you need to be a friend, so that they are able to talk to you about things that they need to talk to you about.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's a great way of being a parent, and I'm assuming Muti. These questions, when you might think that I'm asking it for you only. Officially. So one day I will be a parent, and I will have to understand how to balance this, because there is this great bishop that I respect, who do this thing that I like the most. He would take his kids and his wife for a vacation for a couple of days, and I like that because it's also giving them the chance to bond with their father, because their father is a national asset. So now when a person is always busy, and then totally busy for fixing other people's lives, but totally he is neglecting the family that it's responsible to. So indlela enhle leyo ukuthi you are there for your family and you are there for your kids. But uma ke manje so discover ukuthi you have a potential of being a public speaker, what were the challenges that you faced? Because I mean, you were entering in the industry that was known to be dominated by men. And in actual fact, to some people this day, they find it hard to receive a woman preacher.
Yeah.
I'm not being sexist, but I'm telling you the truth, because some of the people will be like, so how did you make it possible ukuthi you are entering in the public speaking field, yet you know ukuthi most of the time it's male dominated?
I like that question.
No, of course. My questions
and it's not just about gender.
Yes.
The challenge I had when I started in that industry was comparing myself with other people.
Oh, yes.
Which is a challenge, because when you compare yourself with other people, you are not able to perform at your best.
At your best, yes.
And you are not embracing your unique gift that God has given you.
Sure.
And that happened until my pastor, who is my mentor, once said to me, there is an ear for every voice that is there. So I was struggling to speak, I was struggling to write, because I thought there are people who do it better than I do it. And I would shy away from speaking, and he would pull me in, like he would give me slots to say, you are preaching today, you are speaking in this, maybe we have an event, and then they would make me a speaker.
Sure.
And at the time, I didn't even see that there was this gift that I was having. It's only when I was receiving feedback from other people would tell me that I was so impacted by what you were saying. And that's when I realized that, oh, God has given me this gift.
Sure.
But then I still had the problem of comparing myself. Like, maybe if I'm invited by another company to come and speak at an event, I would first check who else is speaking at that event, so that I check if I would be able to match that person or not.
Yes, yes.
But then God helped me in understanding that I am unique, I am different. Whether it's a man or a woman that I'm speaking, maybe I'm in the same event with, it will not take away what God has given me. So I should stop comparing myself. And that came out from the first book, which is titled Significance Through Difference, where I'm talking about the beauty of being different. And that your significance comes from embracing your difference, and that's what God wants us to do. So He made us different for a purpose. So when I got that revelation, then I stopped comparing myself with other people. So whenever I had something to say, formally or informally, I would just go ahead and say it, because I know that there's no other person that is like me. But in the beginning, it was not easy. Yeah.
You remind me of the words of Job. I'm not sure of the chapter, but there's this verse that I like that says, you know what I know, but I'm not inferior to you.
Yeah.
So some people will feel inferior because of maybe the people that they know to be good in that certain industry, and maybe they will feel, I don't stand a chance because I'm facing the big guns of this industry, or whoever that I'm going to be dealing with. So, okay, after in public speaking, and you also touched the book, the first book that you wrote, which leads me to what I'm going to ask you now. Indaba yokubhala. Who was the person that inspired you to write? Because I'm assuming Muti, in your age, maybe when you there was a platform which was Ama DVD. There was a platform which is Ama CD. Maybe there was a platform which is Ama cassette. What made you to say, I want to tell my story in a book?
Yeah. It happened, okay, when I didn't just write my first book. There's some scripts that I wrote before publishing my first book.
Sure.
But what stopped me from publishing is exactly the problem I spoke about where I was comparing myself with other people.
Sure.
So as a result, I didn't publish them. But I had this from my schooling, I used to love writing comprehensive tests.
Okay.
I'm a comprehensive, we call it comprehensive, essays.
Oh yes.
I used to love it, and I would actually love the stories that I come with as I write my essay, because I would be so creative and I would think, where did I get this? So it would just be thoughts that come at the time. And when I realized that I loved writing, because I loved putting my thoughts down.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot say really I was inspired by a writer, but I was inspired by the thoughts that I had, that I felt they needed to be heard by other people.
Sure.
So I would really write my thoughts down and share them with people, and people would say, but you are able to write, you can write. So even my pastor, Dr. Alex Taylor, is an author. So I would assist him maybe when he's publishing a book,
sure,
to edit it. So I saw that, man, I also can do this, and he also inspired me, sure, by saying, you are able to write, you can write. So do what you can, because that's the gift that God has given you. Sure. So I was inspired by my own creativity, if I can be honest, because I would put something down, and when I read it, it would feel like it's somebody else who wrote it, and I would really think, how did I come up with these thoughts? So writing things that come from my own imagination made me love writing, because I felt like the more I write, is the more I get those thoughts, so I would put them down. So that led me to my first book, which was also a coincidence. I wrote my book from an incident that I had when I went to work wearing different shoes. I went to work wearing a black shoe and a navy shoe, and I only realized when I was at work that I was wearing different shoes. So when I realized that it impacted me, I'm the person that loves taking lessons from different things in life. Sure. I'm very observant of things, and I love learning. Yes. So that incident made me think, Uguti, because I was panicking when I was at work, when I realized that I was wearing different shoes. So I was panicking, and I thought, when I got home and I was thinking about the incident, I thought, who said it's wrong for us to wear different shoes? And that thought made me realize that actually as people, we want to do what has been done. Yes. We want to do what is normal, we want to stick to the norm. We do not want to do what is different. Sure. So that incident led me to write the whole book. I mean, you can imagine that small thing that happened, it made me think about what it means to me, what it means to other people, and I wrote a book which actually impacted a lot of people. So I'm inspired by my thoughts, I'm inspired by the creative thoughts that I get, I'm inspired by the things that I learn, and when I put them down, then they get very inspiring to me. So I thought if they're inspiring to me, then they can inspire other people.
Oh, yes, most definitely. I'm thinking, Guti, sometimes Vele, it's always a good thing to know something. Mawians Guti, no, this is going to be impacting people's life. And firstly, the intention should be that to begin with, because most of the people would write books because they want to monetize that, or they want to have money out of that. But now, if your intention was to inspire a person or change a person's life, because you are believing that the story that you are writing, or the incident that you are talking about, or the words that you're going to be using, are the words that are inspiring you first. Because calling my daughter you phone and you nothing, I can go to the author's office, powerful things. Yeah. So What was the second book? Because okay, you did mention your first book title.
Yeah, significance through difference.
Yes, and I would want that copy. Yeah. Project So the second one, what is the title of it?
The title of the second book is Pay Attention, Your Purpose Calls. Pay attention, your purpose calls.
Okay, maybe I will have those two books. Yeah, no. What inspired that topic?
That one is actually close to my heart because, in most cases, we take things ordinary.
Sure.
We don't pay attention to what happens around us. We don't pay attention to what God says to us through certain things.
Sure.
So I realized, as I said, that I would get these thoughts as I'm sitting alone sometimes, or when I'm in an environment where there's other people.
Sure.
So I would see something that looks ordinary, where people would not even pay attention to. And I would get, as I said, that I love learning. I would focus on whatever that I see at the time, and I would get lessons from it. And those lessons, when I put them down, they speak to me, as I said. And when other people read what I say, from just an ordinary thing, like I made an example of the incident of going to work with different shoes. Somebody else might have said, yeah, it was just different shoes, there's nothing
special about it.
Yeah. But for me, I go deeper into things. So that book is about, when the Word of God in the book of Proverbs says, Proverbs is speaking to say, I will pour my thoughts into you. That is wisdom speaking.
Sure.
And the Word of God says, wisdom calls from mountains, it calls from different places, it calls from the marketplace. And what then came to me was that wherever we are, there is wisdom that speaks to us.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we do not pay attention to it. So the book then challenges us to say, wherever you are, don't think that, even if you are sitting alone in a room, don't think that nothing is happening. There's nothing happening. There's always something happening. Sure. And that's, in most cases, God speaks to us in such environments. He speaks to us through things, He speaks to us through His creation, but we do not pay attention. As a result, we miss out on a lot of things that He is telling us to do. And we miss even the things that are leading us to our destiny because we are not paying attention.
Sure.
So the book says, wisdom speaks, wisdom talks.
Yes.
It calls from different things. It calls. You may be walking maybe in a forest.
Sure.
The creation of God may be saying things to you. So that book has lessons that I've learned from just ordinary things. I would look at an empty chair, and it would be like the empty chair is speaking to me, because there is a chapter where I'm talking about an empty chair, where I'm saying, and it's like an empty chair is an opportunity, it creates opportunities. When you get into a building or into a room that has people,
sure,
you will look for an empty chair, because you will not tell a person, stand up, I want to sit. The first thing you will look for an empty chair.
Yeah.
So that is a simple thing, but when you read that chapter, it talks about opportunity.
Sure.
So there's different things that I've experienced which talk to me, and as a result, I am inspired to pay attention to different things, and I am challenging people to say, let's pay attention. Your purpose calls, wherever you are, your purpose may be calling you in a way that you may not even be aware of. Yeah.
And one another speaker says, an opportunity of a lifetime must be seized in the season of that opportunity.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So,
Yeah.
I think I will have to have those 2 copies. We'll talk about them off air. That thing has phone. Yeah, so how is the procedure of being booked to come and speak in an event for you, is it via email, or is it that your husband is aware of it, or okay, firstly, is your husband a preacher or a pastor?
No, he's none. None of the above.
Okay, just a business school.
Yes.
So now, a wife comes to me and says, Ash, there is this booking, or you don't tell him. So how is the procedure going? I want to, I mean, I said before, it's questions that I want to benefit from, and also I'm pretty sure there are those that are going to benefit with me in those questions. And also this one is not mine personally, but I'm just asking it for the sake of the viewers. So, uma ubukwa, are you making your husband aware of the booking, or kuba ukuthi umuntu ukhuluma nawe directly, udila nawe directly, and you are dealing with the person directly?
Yes, people deal with me directly.
Okay.
But obviously, you wouldn't just see me clean. So
Okay.
whenever I'm booked, I would tell him that I'm booked in a certain place, and he knows about my bookings.
Ukuthi you are still submissive, much as you are a woman of prominence, but at the same time you are submissive to your husband because of when you came to that family, you came as a wife. Leyo ukuthi unama-doctorate nama-degrees ukhuluma ama-spec kodwa wena la emagcekeni akodashingana, you are a wife. So I also heard earlier when we were talking ukuthi you are someone who has survived a dangerous disease and who by the grace of God is still standing to testify and declare the goodness of him in the land of the living. So can you take us through that journey of surviving EC for seconds?
Hey, Buddha. God has been good.
Sure.
It was last year in October. I started getting sick in September.
Sure.
It was just flu. I had flu. I thought it was normal flu. And I went to a doctor. They gave me treatment. But after about 3 weeks, still the flu wasn't, going away.
Sure.
Then another doctor that we are at church with prescribed different medication for me for the flu. And then I took the medication for about a week, and then after a week, he made a follow-up to check how was I doing.
Sure.
And then I told him, no, I still have the flu. And then he said to me, this flu is not normal.
Sure.
Because the medication that I gave you was strong. It should have cleared by now.
Yes.
Can we please do some blood tests? And then he sent me a script for blood tests. I went and did the blood tests. And the following day, I think the results were out the same day in the evening. First thing in the morning, the following day, he sent me a message to say there's something very wrong with your body. There are values that are not normal, and then he asked me to go for X-ray for my lungs.
Yes.
Because at the time he thought maybe it might be TB, since I was coughing from the flu. And those readings were showing that I have my infection levels in the body is very high, inflammation levels as well. And then I went and did the X-ray, and then they were negative. But then the thing about this flu, it was making me very weak. I was extremely, extremely weak. So he said I need to be admitted so that they can run tests. So he referred me to another doctor who admitted me in Pretoria, because he now serves at Middelburg.
Okay.
So I went and they admitted me. I stayed for about a week. On Tuesday, and then on Friday night, they came to me and they said, no, we've done many tests, but we still haven't gotten what is wrong. So now we need to do a bone marrow biopsy to check what may be wrong. And you know, God being God, He just made me forget that biopsy, bone marrow biopsy, means they are suspecting cancer. You know, I knew because they did that to my mother before she passed on. So I know that whenever they do bone marrow biopsy, it means they suspect cancer, but it didn't come to my mind, didn't cross my mind at the time. So they did the biopsy, and then on Sunday, they did it on Saturday morning. On Sunday, the doctor came to give me the results that they discovered that I have multiple myeloma, which is a cancer of blood plasma cells. So by the time when she was telling me this, I just acted normally. And again, it was God, because He was preventing me from getting a shock.
Yes,
I believe it was Him, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that's how I was diagnosed, and that was a Sunday. And then I was discharged the following week on Wednesday, because on Thursday I had to start seeing an oncologist. So I started with the oncologist. I started chemo, which was not an easy journey. It was not an easy journey. And the worst part of it is that a month after I was diagnosed, my mother passed on, which then it was a double blow to me, because at the time I needed her support, I needed her in my life, and you can imagine that as I was going through chemo, I'm mourning, and I felt like I was pulled to different directions, because cancer needs you to be strong emotionally, and on the other hand, you are mourning, and mourning, grief makes you weak.
Yes.
But I thank God that He gave me the strength.
Sure.
And what I can highlight is the amount of support that I had, both from family, from church, from friends, people, God just helped me and gave me people that were supporting me, because it was not easy. I would be very weak, and sometimes when you are weak, you struggle to pray at times.
True.
But I thank God that He gave me people that were praying for me, people that were checking me from time to time.
Sure.
But what I want to say is, with cancer, as much as it is a physical disease, it is also very psychological. It needs to be conquered in the mind.
Sure.
So when they were still checking what was wrong, the word that I received was tetelestai. The word that Jesus spoke when He was at the cross, to say,
Yes.
Yes, it is done.
Yes.
So that's the word that I held on to, because the physical strength, when I was losing the physical strength, and there were times where I thought I was dying. They laugh when I tell them that in the times when I would be admitted in hospital, I would, maybe if I fall asleep, when I wake up, I would look down, first thing, I would look down to see if I was still on earth, because I felt like I was no longer there. There are things that I would feel, like I would feel consistent worship, and I would think maybe it's the angels, maybe I'm no longer here. It was not easy, and I would get anxious. I was struggling with anxiety, but I kept on speaking tetelestai, declaring that it is done. Even the sickness that I'm battling with now, Christ died for it. Christ overcame it. So that was my weapon. And also, when people were checking on me, people were praying for me, people were there for me, and my children and husband, they were there assisting me, even at times where I couldn't even wash myself. My oldest daughter would wash me, bath me, and it wasn't easy, and I had to change my diet. I had to change how I was eating, because some people don't know that what we eat also contribute to cancer cells growing in our body. So I had this lady who helped me with a different diet. I had to stop eating sugary things. I had to stop eating a lot of things, and yes. So, but the most important thing about my journey was God helped me to understand that I'm here to fulfill my purpose.
Sure.
And I was refusing to die because I said that I still need to do what God has put me here on earth for. And that helped me to fight. So as I'm saying, that cancer is a physical disease, but it's also psychological.
Sure.
So I kept on thinking, no man, I cannot die before I achieve 1, 2, 3. I was thinking about my children, that no, they cannot lose their mom now, especially they've just lost their grandmother. So I need to fight for them, fight for my purpose, fight for doing what God wants me to do.
Sure.
So it's been a journey of resilience. It's been, I did not know how strong I was until I went through this journey. Yeah. So I went through treatment, and I went through what they call a stem cell transplant, where they take out my stems. They give you a very high dose of chemo, then they clean your system. Then you are like a newborn child when they do the transplant, putting the clean cells back. You are like a newborn child, so you are weak. You can't do certain things. But I just thank God that He gave me the will to live. That's what I'm taking out of my journey. He gave me the desire. There are people that I was with in the journey with, they died. And it scared me to say, am I also gonna die? But I would quickly come back and say, I refuse to die.
Yes.
I refuse to die. And I would pray, I would speak, and I'm being honest that there are times where you can't even pray. There are times where you become so weak, you become so scared as a human being.
Yes.
You say, hey, maybe this is the time. You know, when you are very weak, or yeah, as I said, that sometimes I would think that I'm going. But I would then come back and say, I refuse. Yeah, so it's been a very difficult journey, physically and also emotionally. It was emotionally draining. I do not want to lie. It was draining me emotionally, and especially because most of the time I was in isolation to protect my immune system. So I'm a people's person. I'm used to being with people. So that was affecting me psychologically because I needed people around. Yes. And the fact that I was in isolation, I mean, even in prisons, isolation is a punishment. We were never meant to be in isolation.
Sure. So
that's the part that I was struggling with. But God helped me because people were checking on me. So the fact that people were continuously checking on me, it helped me to remember that I am not alone. Yeah. Yes, so I was then cleared from cancer on the 25th of September, this past month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, then it was really a joyous moment when I was told that cancer, I no longer had. And the part that I didn't say, when I was diagnosed, I was told that the cancer is at its last stage.
Sure.
Which was like scary. You know, but God has helped me to hold on to His power, to hold on to His ability, and to declare that through Him I will make it. So even before, shortly after I was diagnosed, we had a celebration where I was celebrating my 50th birthday, and I used that celebration to declare victory ahead of the journey, and that's what I kept on declaring. That I am victorious. I am victorious. I'm victorious. Yeah. So I saw the victory before I got the results, because that's what I was trusting God for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. No, Nkulunkulu wethembekile, and He's still able to do things, and He's the God that onamandla wenza izinto ezenziwa uye kuphela.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, khona inkani yamazulu engiyithandayo ethi baba wethu osezulwini sithemba wena. So fela lapha ku. So as we are going to be going to bana wethu lo hlelo ukuxoxa kwethu abazalwane bonke, everyone in general, ukuthi because some people don't really take care of their health, and our health is our wealth. So what is it that you would say in advising them ukuthi bayinake, because awukho omnye umzimba ngaphandle kwalo? So uthola ukuthi umuntu wenza kuphela, uyagalavanda, wenza noma yini in the name of ukuthi vele one day you will die, kanti thola ukuthi your purpose is still far for being accomplished. You are not yet going to die, but now thola ukuthi you are at the age of 45, but at that age maybe so struggling because you didn't take care of that body when you still had the time. What can you say as a word of advice to those people at home? Uti, remember, Uti, your health is your wealth.
Firstly, I would say it's very important to do our checkups.
Sure.
And it's something that we neglect, especially abazalwane. Abazalwane, we think that yeah, because and we forget that we have physical bodies.
Sure.
That are affected by physical things, you know, as much as we are spiritual beings. So the first thing that I would say is let's do our checkups. And our bodies have been designed in a way that they are able to tell us when something is wrong.
Sure.
With me, when I looked at the symptoms that I had, I realized that I had the same symptoms 3 years earlier, but I neglected them.
Yeah.
I neglected them, and I would just be happy to say to hear, but no, it's just anemia. Just take a pills with anemia, and I never went deeper into checking what is causing the anemia. You know, so may God help us to be mindful of the things that are happening in our bodies and not neglect the signs that we are getting. So whenever we get signs that let's pay attention to that. Go and see a doctor. See what is it that is wrong, and not be content with the fact that I'll take a Panado and be okay, or I'll just pray and be okay. I'm not looking down on prayer.
Yes.
I'm not looking down on prayer. As much as we pray, there are doctors that God has given them the ability to understand how our body works. So as we go to doctors, the doctors are able to check. So we need to do our checkups, not to neglect the signs that we are getting. Because the body has the ability, as I said, the body has the ability to signal when something is wrong. And let's not ignore those signs. Number 3, to check what we eat. I know we love sugar.
Yes.
I know we love sugary things. But then we need to understand things that are poisonous to our bodies. So I made it a point to learn about things that are not necessarily good for us. Yes. And things that we love, you know, and I made a decision to put them away for the sake of my body. But before we can even look at our body, put simply, what is important is to understand that we are here for a purpose.
Sure.
And we need to be intentional about living a life of purpose. And understand that for me to live this life, I need this body.
Yes.
Because God brought us here as physical beings, yes, for us to fulfill whatever purpose as zona for zona. So we need this body. So we need to be intentional about keeping these bodies right.
Yes.
So that we can fulfill. So it shouldn't be an afterthought. I need to do it because I need this body.
Yes.
I need to serve God with this body. So as a child of God, I need to be healthy, you know, so that I can do what God has purposed me to do. So neglecting your body means you are also neglecting what God brought you here for. Because if you are with Nagigeli, then how are you going to serve? You know?
Sure.
So yes, it needs to be something that we are always mindful of. Let's pay attention to what we eat. Let's pay attention to how our bodies respond to what we eat. There are people that know that they are allergic to certain things, but because they love them,
bazidla
ngenkani, you know, bazidla ngenkani.
Yeah,
So let's try and see ukuthi, what is it that our bodies can tolerate, what is it that is good for our bodies, and we focus on it. So ushukela bazalwane asizameni ukuthi siphungule if possible bekela phansi. So I actually started reading a lot about ukudla, how food affects us, and it helped me in my recovery, because the doctors were amazed at the speed at which I was recovering, because I changed how I eat. So we need to, God gave us food ukuthi zisinourishe,
sure,
not nje ukuthi sidle just because into mnandi. So I would really stress that ukuthi we need to be mindful of what we eat. Let's take care of our bodies. Let's have ama-checkups. We stop ama-checkup. Mawuye kayi-1 what you right. Then if it's a checkup that you need to do yearly or annually, we don't do it because and they gonna let this thing, especially boba. They say, "Hi, mina nyasabu kuya doctor," because what if the doctor says there's something wrong? And I don't understand that analogy, because the reason we go is so that we prevent, and not just treat after says something wrong. So I'm emphasizing, especially Kuma Christians, let's take care of our bodies. God gave this actually it's His temple, you know, so we need to take care of the body, which is the temple of Christ.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much, Mrs. Nopasika. Wrong to business disclosing but thank you very much for affording us your time, and thank you for coming through here at New Dimension Gospel, and thank you for sharing your journey with us. We appreciate that. And maybe if there is something that you want to say just before just so in closing, maybe if you want to say something that you wish to share to the viewers briefly, maybe just a minute, and then we do our closing wrap up.
Okay, there's a line that I like saying, a statement that says, "Live and leave your mark." What is in my heart is that we don't just live because siyaphefumula, but we need to live, and at the end of the day, kubonakala ukuthi simphiwe mina was here.
Yes.
Because at the heart of God is the reason why you are here, more than what like just the life that you live, you know. So I would love to challenge our viewers to say, as you live every morning that you wake up, understand that you are here for a purpose. You are here to do something that God has brought you here for. You are here to do even things that are bigger than us.
Sure.
But things that are in the heart of God.
Yes.
Since I don't like to say survived from cancer, I love to say conquered cancer.
Yes.
Since I conquered cancer, yes. My life is different, because I see every day as a gift, and it is a day that I need to focus on what God has brought me here for. As in the beginning I spoke about my steps being directed by God. So when I wake up, I am mindful of the fact that I am here for a purpose, and I do not want to leave this earth before I fulfill what God has brought me here for. So as you are living your life, remember that you need to live so that at the end of the day, you leave a mark that shows that you were here. Thank you.
Yabona, if you have to speak after such greatness, you are in trouble. But thank you very much. Give us your social media handles before we let you go.
Okay. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok in all those platforms is Nopasika Malgas.
Nopasika
Malgas.
Malgas.
Yes.
And she's about to leave the building. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thank you for following us at New Dimension Gospel. And thank you for following me. I am at Simpiwe Mneno, absolutely on all the social media platforms. For now, it's a wrap.